Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I thought I would just kind of vlog today, like a very vlog chit chat style video to catch up and give you some life updates, answer some questions I've been getting in the comments. I'm hoping to also get outside and like do a little bit of gardening. We'll see. It's a very gloomy day actually today. Before I jump into it, how are all of you doing? Please leave me a comment. Let me know. Are you guys healthy? I talked about how my kids have been sick lately. Just try to keep it positive as usual. What are you looking forward to that's coming up? Maybe in the spring? Any fun plans? Traveling? I like to think we stay in touch that way. So I love reading through your comments. And for us, let's see, the kids have been sick back to back to back. Honestly, we had a really good streak the first part of winter, so I can't complain, but then it just hit them like in the past month or two. But yeah, the kids kind of being in and out of sickness does affect like how often I can post. Aside from the sickness, it's been challenging with kind of just the winter blues. I mentioned, I think in a video recently, that I was going through a really hard time. Like, I think it was around February. I think that's when it gets the hardest for me, honestly, being in a colder region and dealing with like the winter blues, my mood being down, being extremely unmotivated. I think I also was just dealing with a lot of like insecurity with parenting and like really second guessing the right way to do things. It just causes me to reflect a lot like on my upbringing with a lot more like authoritarian parenting versus like permissive parenting. So those are like the opposite end of the spectrum. And so my goal is just to like find my way to the middle, because my instinct is to be more authoritarian. That's what I saw. Wow, we're just getting deep right away in this video. Like, that's what I was around growing up. That's what I'm used to. So that's my instinct. And I'm trying to get to a place that's more balanced. And that takes a lot of unlearning. It takes a lot of work. It's the harder route for sure, but it's so important to me. I just got to a place, honestly, where I was very down and feeling extremely defeated. I actually ended up stumbling, well, Richie sent me this Instagram page that really resonated with me. This woman has helped me so much. Her name's Lisa Bunnage. She's a parenting coach. Her Instagram page is Brat Busters Parenting. And the way that she talks about putting rules in place in terms of discipline, how to handle like consequences, has been so helpful for me. I think I'm someone who just really needs like a very clear set guidelines on like how to handle very specific situations with my kids, because it gives me more confidence like when I'm actually in that moment handling it. I think because I was just so down mentally in terms of like feeling the winter blues and all of that, I was like on this emotional roller coaster with my kids. It was like I was having so much trouble handling my own emotions. Like, I know moms have messaged me too about like mom rage, and I've experienced that. I was just like in a cycle of having such a hard time getting a grasp on my own feelings and like controlling myself and not joining the roller coaster of my kids with their emotions, you know? And our role as a parent is to be a leader. So anyways, this was like honestly life-changing for me. And you can check out her stuff. She has so much good information, but the main thing she talks about a lot is creating a behavior board. And I'll show you our behavior board. We keep these right on our fridge where we all know they are. We can all see them. It's kind of funny because we all have like our little pictures on the side. And then like our rule started off by focusing on like one rule a week. And even mom and dad have a rule. So I have a rule. It's no yelling. Okay. That is like something I really want to get better at, and this board has helped hold me accountable to it. My consequence is that I have to play hide and seek for 30 minutes with the kids if I yell. You know, the kids have no hitting, and otherwise they have to clean up. So like, anyway, she talks you through how to create a behavior board, but this has been like a total game changer for my family. If you're in a tough spot and you're just like, where do I even start? What do? I would recommend checking out her stuff. Not to say everything is like hunky-dory now and perfect, but it gives me structure and it helps me feel way more confident in like where I'm at with parenting. Anyways, I just wanted to touch on that because that's kind of been what I've been dealing with personally in terms of parenting the past couple of months. And so yeah, we continue, we push through, we don't give up. You know what? I need to actually get my sourdough mixed up because Timing is rough today. There's a lot going on. So I'm gonna work on my sourdough while I chat. My friend asked me the other day, she's like, are you still doing sourdough? And I was like, yeah. I took so long to decide if I want to like get on this sourdough train that I wouldn't have committed to it if I didn't plan on sticking to it. So yes, if anyone's wondering, I'm still doing sourdough. I usually prep like 2 loaves, so this is enough for 2 different loaves, and I leave one in my fridge for like a week because it can kind of just sit in there until I'm ready to bake it. That way I don't have to actually like prepare the dough as often. But yeah, we usually end up eating like a loaf or 2 a week. So right now I'm just gonna put this one back in the fridge. Yesterday I was at a baby shower that I had planned with one of my friends for our good friend Tabby. And the day before that we were attending a baby shower of our close friends. So there's a lot of showers and a lot of events going on. I'm also still working on my family reunion. That isn't until like September, but the planning process is taking some time. It's just a lot of different pieces because it's going to be such a huge event. I'm very, very excited about it. I think a lot of, oh yeah, and that's the other thing. I went to an engagement party the other day for my cousin. So there's just been a lot happening. I've been reading this book. It's called Beautiful No Mow Yards. I'm always checking out different gardening books from the library because I just love to be inspired. All I'm really thinking about lately is the garden, if I'm being honest. Right now I should be doing spring cleaning in the house. I'm slowly making my way through my checklist that I showed you guys. I really am. We already did start some of the spring cleaning. I had the kids like kind of just helping me the other day trying to clean up all the sticks. So many sticks that have fallen from our huge black maple. Yeah, it's a black maple. So, you know, we love that tree. We call it the growing tree because that's what Jace named it when we moved into this place. Also, does anyone else's kids have an obsession with rocks? Like, I love that they collect rocks because I love that they love nature. That's how me and my sisters were growing up. But it's to the point where it's driving us a little bit crazy. I mean, there's a stone like this big that Jace has been carrying inside of our house. And I'm like, we just can't. Like, we have to draw the line somewhere, Jace. The grass saga continues. Because of the amount of shade we have in our yard in the summer, the grass does not grow very well under our black maple. And this is year 3, right? Summer 3 of trying to get the grass to grow in better. Richie's extremely determined. But here's the other thing that works like in tandem with that. With our tree being so huge and shading so much of the yard all summer long, I had an arborist come out to take a look at the tree to let us know what he can do. And we want to like get rid of dead branches because a lot of those fall and it can be dangerous for the kids too. Like a lot of them are very large and on windy days, they just fall right out. But he also talked about raising the canopy, which would then allow a lot more light to come into the yard, which I think would be like super beneficial for our grass growth and also just beneficial overall for the yard in other areas where I feel like it's so shaded. And I am really working in a shade garden, which has its own challenges. I'm trying to educate myself more on like having a shade garden and how to design around that and work with it instead of trying to work against it, you know? All that to say, I haven't fully made my garden plan for this year because a lot of it does depend on what happens once we get the canopy of our tree raised. And then take a look at my yard to see like how much more light is actually shining through so I can make decisions on where to place what plants. I think today it is still pretty chilly, but I think I'm safe to divide some hostas. And the hostas I'm dividing are actually in my front lawn. I don't think I've ever shown you guys the front flower beds. All the stuff planted there are pretty much what the previous owner planted / the people who like renovated the place before we moved in. It's a lot of hostas and then a lot of bulbs. There's bulbs coming up now. So there's like some daffodils that have already bloomed, which are pretty. My neighbor told me that the older gentleman who used to live here was like always planting bulbs. I'm hoping to get like 9 or 10 extra ones out of the divisions and place them along the north side of my house, which is like heavily shaded because the entire house shades the sidewalk entrance there. I have nothing along those garden beds and it's just kind of like a sad entrance into the house. We'll see. I'm gonna have to add to that over time slowly, but I think for now to at least get some hostas in there will be a nice change, because there's literally nothing there. I don't like to have like completely empty beds like that. Every video I've seen of people dividing hostas seems to be very like aggressive. Like they just rip it out of the ground and chop it in half, which is what I did, but I feel like I did something wrong. And I feel like I might have just killed all of these hostas and I don't even know if they're gonna grow. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Aside from that, I have plans to paint the shed very soon, which is exciting. I'll show you the grass growth. Grass. Tiny little baby grasses. Coming in slowly but surely. I see a little bit of clover. It's harder to spot those though. These are the things that get you excited in your 30s. Arborvitaes are still alive by the fence. I have hostas coming up there. Hydrangeas. I don't see any new growth yet. Nothing's planted back here. This is like a lot of areas I hope to fill in this summer. And then my rhododendron. Okay, I haven't even looked at this guy, but I think this is a good sign that the flowers are going to come out soon. This is such a tiny little baby. It's supposed to get huge. These are actually starting to flower earlier than I thought they would, which is nice. All right, I'm heading out to pick up Jace from my mom's to bring him to an appointment. There's a lot of things going on, but mainly allergies and like breathing with his mouth open, not getting good air. So we ended up finding out that he has enlarged tonsils. I'm super curious to know if anybody else has dealt with that at all with their kiddos, and if tonsil removal has helped at all, or if anything else has helped, because it's kind of been an ongoing thing with him, honestly, ever since he was little. And I just feel like we want him to be more comfortable. Okay, we just got home from Jace's appointment. It was good. I got some of my questions answered. I'm a little nervous about the recovery period. It's kind of, I don't know, sounds uncomfortable. And like 2 weeks of soft food and all that. But at this point, I just really want Jace to breathe normally. I am finishing up bread. I am very hungry. A little update on my intermittent fasting, because I have gotten questions. I think I talked about intermittent fasting back in like, it was the end of the summer. I think it was like August or something. And I was like, okay, I'm starting my intermittent fasting journey. Here we go. Started off pretty strong. The first 10 pounds honestly came off pretty quickly. Like it wasn't too difficult. After that, it got difficult. Like I really wasn't losing weight for a while. And then the holidays rolled around and yeah, I fell off. I fell off completely. Not consistent with working out, not consistent with fasting. And then like everyone was sick in the beginning of the year. And then at some point I got my life back together in like, ooh, I'm super dark. So like as of February-ish, I've been intermittent fasting again. Those first 10 pounds, because like I gained that all back, I think during the holidays, that came off like quickly again. It's this part after this that gets the hardest, where like I'll weigh myself and nothing's changing. And if you're curious to know like what I'm talking about and what my goals are, you can check out my intermittent fasting video where I talk more about that. But I essentially never like fully went back to my pre-baby weight, blah, blah, blah. I have a goal in mind, trying to reach it. I haven't reached it. So that's the truth. I have kind of miserably failed. Okay, I shouldn't say that. That's a little bit hard on myself. It's been very, very much like this, like many things in my life. Just hard to be consistent. But as of now, I'm back on track, I'm doing pretty well, and I'm seeing results. So I'm gonna keep going with it. My eating window tends to be around 12 or 1 p.m. up until like 6 or 7 p.m. So I think that's like a 7-hour eating window that I try to do. In the beginning, it was very, very hard to go through the whole morning with the kids without eating. I do drink coffee, so you can have like coffee with like a splash of milk. It won't take you out of your fasting state. So that helps because that kind of suppresses the hunger. If you hear that noise in the background, that's Jace watching a video that my sister Andrea posted on YouTube. She does rock videos. I don't know, it's a whole niche. My eyes have been opened to this community. It's pretty cool, but I think that's why Jace is extremely into rocks now. So he is. Go subscribe to her channel. It's very cute. Oh. You like rocks because you're a douchey, huh?
I'm douchey.
Yeah. So I do want to continue. I've seen the benefits of it. And again, like the weight loss and the goal I want to reach, that's kind of like still important to me, but a lot of these other things are more important to me. The energy, the focus, the clarity. So really do want to work more on consistently waking up early to work out, because that's the part that I'm having like an even harder time being consistent with. So that's my update on intermittent fasting. I wish I had like more to tell you. I wish I could be like, yes, I've been so consistent and here is where I'm at. I've reached my goal. But life happened along the way. I'm chugging along. I'm just glad I restarted, because I feel like once you stop doing something, to like muster up the energy and the motivation to restart it is hard, because you kind of feel like a failure. So I'm happy that I'm in a place where I did restart and like I'm seeing the results again, and I can just get back into it. I'm gonna make my meal to break my fast, which is always the same thing, guys. I'm obsessed. It sounds so gross, but it's actually so good. Sauerkraut. Organic sauerkraut. Oops, it's spilling. I mix that with avocado. I usually use a slice of sourdough bread for this to like spread it on, but it's not going to be ready on time. So I'm just going to do it on a bagel today. I add fried cheese. Okay, that's not healthy, but it's so good. And an egg, over easy. It's delicious. With some coffee. All right. I don't even remember the last time I drew something on this chalkboard. The sun came out for a little bit. It's peeking through the clouds just a little bit. I got inspired. We're gonna switch this up. We're gonna do a little flower drawing. I'm gonna have Jace do it with me since it's just me and him at home right now. It could be like a little art class. I think I have food on my face. A little flower diagram for the spring. That'd be cute, okay? So we're gonna do green and orange.
That came off
It's good teamwork.
Listen for me in a violin. Listen for me when the knife is turning. Listen for me when the world is burning. Babe, would you listen for me? Listen for me in a crowded street. Listen for me in a winning streak. Listen for me when you're at your peak. Babe, would you listen for me? Listen for me.
Okay, we did it. It's cute. Jace, come look.
Nicole.